Hello, class, and welcome back to Church History. I hope that you all had a restful week. I know so much is going on, so I just wanted to come to you over video rather than sending an email last week as well as the weeks before. But I think really last week really hit us hard with the changes with this COVID-19 virus. And a lot of changes have just simply been happening to all of our lives. Our class will continue as normal since we are already an online course. The traditional courses that met in person changed up a little bit and had to switch things to an online session like us. So we will not be changing anything. We'll be the same way. I want to express to you, thank you for turning in your midterm research papers on your individuals. I'm looking forward to reading those. It is really important that you complete all of the assignments that are assigned for you, not completing the assignments. So you'll see over the syllabus, like each section is 20% of your grade. And it is so important that you do discussions. That counts as your attendance. You do your quizzes, you do any type of assignments which aren't really big, but you want to make sure you do your assignments because that's going to help you pass. And I see a lot of students are not completing them. If you're having any issues with books or anything, you got to let me know. But not saying anything is not going to help me. This week is week 8, and I want you to go to your D2L page. You'll see that for this week you have you're going to be reading chapters 11 and 12. You'll see that there is still a lot of turmoil in the church as it moves into European areas. You will see that crusades are starting, and crusades were just basically that, wars in the name of pushing Christianity or taking particular lands that they wanted. Okay, so it's really important that you read chapters 11 and 12 for this week. Your discussion post is going to deal with crusades and were they successful. You'll see that there's a PowerPoint posted for this week that will assist you with your reading, as well as I gave you guys a little handout that will give you a little bit more information about the Crusades because they can get very confusing. History can get a bit confusing as well. So let's talk real briefly about some key things in chapter 11 and 12. You're going to start seeing that Christianity is now moving into Europe, especially into the northern parts of Europe. You'll see now that, isn't this awesome how it started to move from one little place into, you start go to like the west, into the east, over into like Italy, but now it's moving into like northern parts of Europe. You see in Hungary, also in Iceland. The the Christian church was not really big and not really strong at that time, and it was also said that really like around like the year 1000 or so, Christianity wasn't even really heard of in Iceland. There, you're going to start seeing a few terms, and anytime you see some terms in your book that you don't understand, always look them up. Always get the definition. And you'll see over and over again this particular term called papacy. And that's where we get the word pope. That's the office or the authority of the pope. And you'll see that in the United States, we are not under an authority of a pope. That is the Roman Catholic Church. And you see that with the split, you'll see over the years that we didn't, when I say we, over in the West, we didn't take that type of authority to our church. We have individual churches and denominations, but the Roman Catholic Church, which exists today, believes in the papacy, which is the authority of the Pope. The Pope is kind of like, is over everything, all of the affairs of the church. Okay, and then you'll see another term called simony. And simony started to come into the early church where they started like around year 1000 to about 1100, 1200. You see a lot of corruption that is still in the church, maybe still there today, right? Where they started buying or selling positions. And anytime you start to see money coming into authority, you know that's always a bad idea. And so you start to see individuals, key individuals like Hildebrand. Hildebrand comes in and Hildebrand says, look, this whole thing about simony is wrong. And he tries to make a lot more reforms. Clement is another one that tries to make reforms, but it doesn't always work. So you'll start to see this pull, this push and pull of people making reforms. And then another leader comes in and tries to undo what they did. You'll see in your PowerPoint that I sent over for you this week. I'm not going to get a whole lot into it because it's going to take up a lot of time. The first and the second and third crusades. The whole point of these crusades was to recapture the Holy Land. And the Holy Land, Jerusalem, they wanted to recapture this particular land. Now you'll start to see that there is going to be a clash between Muslims and Christians and land. So that's the reason why we get these crusades. And in your discussion post, I want you to read more about it. I gave you some videos that you can watch if you get confused, and tell me a little bit more about those crusades and if they were effective, okay? And if they were effective. Okay, everybody, so we're going to pause right here. I want you all to take a deep breath and make sure that you're reading, follow up, and give me some good posts this week. Please be safe, wash your hands, and continue to check on your loved ones. See you later.